So what if I told you Syria's dictator, Bashar al-Assad, made a potential secret deal with Mossad, the world's most feared intelligence agency? Reports claim that Assad may have handed over Syria's most sensitive military secrets, including missile depots, air bases, weapons factories, in a desperate bid to save his own life. In exchange, Israel reportedly promised not to target him during what could be the final days of his regime, as HTS was making its way to Damascus. But why would Assad betray his allies? Iran, Hezbollah, that terror network that they've been working with. And how is Mossad using this intel to dominate that battle space and reshape the Middle East? So this one here isn't just a story about survival. This one here is about betrayal from some pretty evil people, intelligence warfare, and Israel's strategic brilliance. And on this episode, I'm going to break it all down. Let's get into it. So Bashar al-Assad has clung to power over a decade during a brutal civil war. His regime survived because of two key backers, Iran and Russia. But cracks started forming with those alliances. And with that trust eroding and enemies closing in, Assad may not have had a choice but to turn to Mossad for his survival. And so for Israel, Syria's always been a staging ground for terrorism. The Iranian militias, Hezbollah, and these groups have smuggled weapons, stockpiles of missiles, and have aimed them at Israeli cities, and over the last year have been firing away. And Israel's mission was to eliminate threats before they could materialize. And if Mossad identified an opportunity to exploit Assad's vulnerabilities, you can bet that they seized it. And so there's reports coming in from different sources within the Middle East suggesting that Assad may have provided Mossad with precise intelligence on Syria's military assets while he was on his way out. Missile systems, weapons factories, various air bases, and in return, Israel promised not to target Assad personally. We've seen how good Israel is at killing terrorist leaders. And so a lifeline of this dictator was pretty much on the brink of collapse. So question, if this is in fact the case, why would Mossad make the deal? Mossad is built for moments like this. That's what they do. They're not just an intelligence agency. They're Israel's main heart and weapon when it comes to special operations and tasks. And if Assad was willing to betray Iran and Hezbollah, Mossad would exploit that to dismantle multiple enemies at the same time. It's not just about intelligence, it's about reshaping the Middle East, which is what Israel has been doing systematically for the last 13 months. And so I don't think this was vague intel. And what I'm hearing from my sources is that Assad may have handed over exact coordinates for high-value military targets, like I mentioned, missile storage sites, air bases, places that host advanced warplanes. And this information is only accessible at the top levels of that Assad regime. And so in exchange, Assad reportedly secured a guarantee that Israel wouldn't target him and kill him. And for a dictator who was losing his grip on power, that kind of assurance is priceless. The door was closing. He wanted to make sure he was able to keep breathing. Hey, are you guys a fan of my work on the news and with my new show, The Aaron Cohen Show? Do me a favor and help support the show by becoming a Season 1 sponsor. Hit the link down in the description and grab yourself a mini sponsorship package. They start at $25. We're completely independently produced, so it helps keep the lights on in the studio and helps me to continue combating that garbage anti-Israel misinformation while bringing you no-nonsense, cutting-edge analysis of the Mideast, counterterrorism, Israeli special operations, and U.S. national security. Do me a favor, hit the link down in the description and help support the show. Grab yourself a mini sponsorship package. Appreciate you guys. Hey, are you guys a fan of Israeli special operations? Were you blown away by that incredible pager operation that Israel pulled off? grab yourself a signed copy of my best-selling memoir, Brotherhood of Warriors, the memoir of my time as the first American to serve in one of Israel's top special missions units, the elite Mistaravim. This is the undercover unit that infiltrates terror neighborhoods undetected to stop terrorism dead in its tracks. I've got a limited number of signed copies. Hit the link down in the description. Grab yourself a signed copy of my memoir. Help support the show. Appreciate you guys. So I want to dive into this even deeper. Mossad doesn't just collect secrets. They weaponize them. Israel's intelligence is the heart of its survival. So let me break this down if, in fact, all of this is true. Once they were able to verify Assad's intel, it likely went straight to the IDF, which turned it into precision strikes that neutralized those key Syrian military assets without triggering a wider war as HTS was covering that ground in Syria. And as we've seen, recent strikes have hit missile storage sites hidden within civilian populations, factories that were producing weapons for Hezbollah, and air bases that are critical to Syria's defense network. So these aren't just random bombings. Every one of these strikes talks to the psychology, which sends a clear message. Israel knows everything. So whether it's a hidden weapons depot or a secured facility, nowhere in Syria is safe from Israel's reach. And it's not just about destroying infrastructure. It's about destroying the morale of those who threaten Israel. And in this case, HTS, that new group that moved in, the signal from Israel has been sent very clearly. So for Assad, if this deal actually happened, Assad has put himself in a dangerous position. I want to talk about the ramifications for Assad moving forward. Him betraying Iran and Hezbollah may have bought him some time, but it's a short-term fix. And if Tehran discovers that Assad was working with Israel, what's left of it could fall apart. And Mossad's abilities to exploit weaknesses and turn enemies against each other ensures not only Israel's survival, but ensures that Israel maintains a very strong posture in a region that only respects strength. And I can tell you this betrayal would be a disaster for Iran's regional ambitions. Syria is the linchpin in their axis of resistance in connecting Tehran to Hezbollah and Lebanon. And if Assad became unreliable, this is a massive setback for the Iranian IRGC. Now I want to talk about the effects of U.S. national security. A fractured Assad-Iran alliance is good for U.S. interests, but it also creates risks. Destabilizes Syria, which we've seen happening here, that could lead to a resurgence of ISIS and al-Qaeda, which are threats to the United States and other allies in the region. Global security, let's hit that. Instability in the Middle East often spills into global economies. And if tensions escalate, particularly in the Strait of Hormuz, Iran could disrupt oil supplies, sending energy prices soaring worldwide. But I want to give you guys an alternative. And this is the way we're trained to think in the intelligence space. Could this all be disinformation? Some could say that this story is part of a larger psychological operation designed to fracture Assad's alliances with Iran and Hezbollah. It's possible, but the precision of Israel's recent strikes has me feeling that there's more than just rumors. And another theory is that Mossad didn't give Assad the choice. They uncovered leverage, which is how we work in the intelligence space. Those little pressure points. Anything from financial corruption to family vulnerabilities or hidden scandals. They could have coerced him into cooperating. That's what makes Mossad so effective. Iran and Hezbollah don't forgive betrayal. And if this deal is real, his regime, or what's left of his collapsed regime, could be completely decimated. And Israel will continue leveraging Mossad's intelligence to neutralize threats. These strikes aren't just about defense, they're about maintaining dominance in the region where survival depends on being smarter and faster than your enemies. And for Iran could likely retaliate if this is in fact true. And that wouldn't be a question of if, it would be a question of when. Whether through proxy militias, some type of direct action, they'll try and reassert some type of control over Syria to counter Israel's advantage. But right now they've been knocked into the ground pretty hard. So I don't think that's going to happen overnight. And for Russia, who Assad is a main ally, if this deal strains his relationship with Iran, Russia may try to consolidate its control over Syria. We've seen some activity with some Russian troops surfacing, creating new challenges for Israel and the United States. So I want to say this. This one here isn't just about Assad or the Mossad. This one here is a story about survival and betrayal in one of the most volatile regions in the world. And for Israel, Mossad's brilliance ensures its safety and its dominance in the region. And for Assad, this one here could have been a gamble that might seal his fate. And for the United States, it's a reminder that the Mideast is still the chessboard of global power. I'm going to come back to this one as there's more info. I want to thank you guys for watching. Stay sharp. Stay informed. Do me a favor. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think Assad made a deal with Israel? Comment down below. Join the conversation. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. The Aaron Cohen Show is sponsored by the Cherry's Deep Concealment Holster. This is the same holster I trained Keanu on for the John Wick franchise. This holster is an absolute beast. This thing runs BWB or below the waistband. That means it's never going to fall off you, and there is zero digging into your gut when you're seated. Also, this holster has a lightning fast draw with just a little bit of training. And you can also see it's completely skeletal. It's minimal. You don't need a ton of real estate down there. Adjustable clip to adjust the ride. And this thing also fits every double stack 9 and 40 Glock and a ton of other models. Go to the link down in the description. Grab yourself one of these bad boys. There's a bit of a lead time right now due to demand, but trust me, this thing is worth the wait. Pre-order yours now. Hit the link down in the description. Grab yourself one of these holsters and finally carry with comfort and proper concealment. I'm Aaron Cohen. You're watching The Aaron Cohen Show, and I will catch you guys on the next one.